Yo, what's poppin'? Salute to all my fellow sports fans, all my supporters. We are back. Welcome to the Best of 7 Sports Talk here on T7M Radio. I am your host, as always, 7 Mitchell. Appreciate y'all locking in. Joining me, as always, got my co-host with me, the Devil's Advocate out in Carolina. We got the big homie J.O. in the building. J.O., what's poppin', brother?
Yo, what's poppin', fam, man? A lot to talk about.
Salute. Yes, man. People, if you into it, man, make sure y'all call up 347-989-8102. It's going down here on the Best of 7 Sports Talk. We got so much to talk about. We got the NBA, Tim Duncan, announced his retirement over the weekend, 19 years in. We're going to talk about the Tim Duncan's greatness in the NBA. Was he the best power forward ever? We also want to I want to chop it up with J.O. with my NBA Mount Rushmore. I want him to kind of dispute my NBA Mount Rushmore, if he agree or disagree with my current Mount Rushmore in the NBA. Also, on deck for tonight, should black athletes be more vocal when it comes to a lot of worldly situations that's going on? We definitely need to chop it up, talk about that, namely the Minnesota Lynx from the WNBA. Most recent event happened last night. We're going to chop it up about that. We're going to lock in with the NFL a little bit later on in the show. We're talking top 5 quarterbacks. Who's your NFL top 5 quarterback? Man, we got so much to talk about here on Sports Talk, Best of 7. J.O., for starters, Max Kellerman, new co-host of ESPN's First Take with Stephen A. Smith. What's your thoughts?
Solid. I'm just now hearing it. You know what I'm saying? You just gave me some breaking news.
Yeah, they made the announcement on the show yesterday, but there was a clip of Colin Cowherd. He announced it the day before, former ESPN anchor. So I think he was being a little petty. He kind of got on live and made the announcement the day before. They made the announcement yesterday. Michelle Beadle, she didn't break a Sports Nation. She took the day off, all that emotional. I don't think she was too happy about the move, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be nice because Kellerman, you know what I'm saying, he's in touch. Well, I should say in touch, but, you know what I'm saying, he can talk a lot of social topics, you know, especially stuff we're going through today, you know what I'm saying. He always kept it real for the most part. So him and Stephen A. on social topics is going to be dope.
That's facts. And even locking into the little interview that they had with him yesterday, you know, he talked about how him and Stephen A. been pretty much locked in, you know, for over 20 years almost. So, you know, they have a solidified type of dialogue when it comes to sports, especially basketball and boxing. So I think it's good to have Max on ESPN First Take. It does bring a new wave. He's real, you know, real witty when it comes to the boxing side. So, you know, that might bring a new wave to, you know, the show. But I don't think nothing is really going to replace the Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith factor. But
yeah. Facts.
Now, what I did find out today, I don't know if you knew about this, J.O., but Molly Kerm, the moderator for ESPN's First Take, she has been dating Jalen Rose.
Whoa. No wonder you get these gigs on ESPN. And man, I tell you, man, you can't. Man, you tell you, man, women just can't concentrate in the workplace, can they?
I'm telling you, man, it's real out here in the field. Shout out to my home Jalen Rose, man. He went from having Kobe drop 81 on his head to having Molly Kerm. So, you know, he winning at the end of the day. Cannot.
Yeah, that's a good look.
All right. But, man, we're going to talk about NBA, Tim Duncan, man, all that. When we lock in, man, we're going to take a quick time out. This is the Best of 7 Sports Talk Radio, T7M Radio. Make sure y'all call up 347-989-8102. About to take a quick time out. When we come back, we locking in with the NBA. Tim Duncan, he retired, man. Is he the best power forward ever? Don't go nowhere, man. Lock in. We about to rock out.
Meet the Hoopers, the All-Star family. With Dad, Mom, Son, Grandpa, baby.
I see you're becoming a teenager. Been walking around acting all cavalier. I think it's about time we had that talk about the Hawks and the Hornets.
No way. Dad, I'm not going to talk about that with you.
All right. Well, our State Farm agent said he'd add you to our car insurance when you're ready to drive. But that is not going to happen unless we read this book, son. Once upon a time, a hawk and a hornet loved each other very much.
We got robbed. We've been robbed. Hey, what? We got robbed.
What?
My rings are gone.
You ain't got no rings.
Sure don't.
Don't worry, Mrs. Hooper. If you ever do get a ring, State Farm can cover your jewelry in case of a robbery.
Mama's got no rings.
Really, baby?
I want a ring.
Somebody need to change his baby. Ooh.
State Farm, keeping your home court covered.
What up, it's your girl Najee. Everybody hates K, but everything's golden. And you're listening to T7M Radio with my man's Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man, we are locked and loaded. This is the best of 7 Sports Talk with 7 Mitchell. Call up 347-989-8102. Got the big homie J.O. locked and loaded with me. All right, J.O., man, went down over the weekend. Tim Duncan announced his retirement after 19 years. It was kind of unexpected for me because I thought he was going to do his little tour like Kobe did. I thought it was well-deserved, so I'm a little bit disappointed, you know what I'm saying, that Tim Duncan didn't make that final stride. It wasn't a known final stride, but what was your thoughts of when you initially heard that Tim Duncan was hanging it up?
My initial thought was that Tim Duncan was just fed up. And I think, you know, after seeing the Durant signing and he's seeing where the league is going, you know, I just felt like he lost his passion. And then when they signed Gasol, it was like, yo, it's more likely I'm not going to start. I don't want to just be out here just to be out here. So, I mean, I guess he looked at his writings on the wall, so he just gone ahead and just, you know what I'm saying, took that bullet and like, yo, I'm out.
So you actually think that San Antonio kind of, in a way, pushed him out the door?
No, I wouldn't say pushed him out the door. I just felt like he felt like his service wasn't needed anymore. And, you know, he's seeing how the league is getting phony. It's like, you know what I'm saying, it just ain't that same feel. You know, I guess he just don't want to be a burden. They're like, yo, let Gasol do his thing, let LaMarcus Aldridge do his thing. So, I mean, I guess he just figured, you know, it's not a guarantee that he's going to win a ring. So, you know what I'm saying, he just bowed out gracefully. You know, it was his time, whatever. Because if you can remember, like a week ago, he accepted his option to make $5 million this year. Then out of nowhere, he retired. So, cause and effect.
Let me say, number one, you're very disrespectful to the NBA. You're very disrespectful to how the NBA is evolved right now. But I appreciate your disrespectfulness because, you know, you made some valid points. But let's just get to the bread and butter of this, J.O. Tim Duncan was done for. I mean, Tim Duncan has been done for. Ever since Tim Duncan missed that bunny hop layup in the finals against Miami in 2013 when Miami won that Game 7, I think it was Game 7. Ever since then, it's been it. I don't think that it has anything to do. I mean, you make a good point. Could have been a little upset at, you know, how the NBA is changing with the speed and all that, but you know that it is what it is, and it's been like that, you know, ever since, you know, LeBron and D Wade hooked up for the last 10, 12, for the last, you know, 3-4 years. I just think it was simply age and attrition. I just don't think that Tim Duncan could compete. Bottom line, and you know, he's always been a winner. He's never been the one that went the spotlight. You bring in Gasol. They brought in LaMarcus Aldridge last year. I don't think that that would kind of, you know, make him feel any type of way, even with the minutes, especially if they're able to still compete and win. I just don't think he knows he just can't run up and down the floor with these boys. I think it's a wrap.
Yeah, I think that may play a part of the reason. Like, he basically done, and the fact that he's not even gonna be a factor, win or lose. I mean, what type of great champion wanna play in that situation where you're not even a factor. So, you know what I'm saying? I guess he was just. I honestly feel if they didn't sign Gasol, I honestly feel he wouldn't have retired. In my honest opinion.
Wow. Well, do you think that if he would have stayed, when I looked at it as a good move.
Yeah, it was a good move. Of course, it was a great basketball move. I don't know, Duncan is so unselfish. I don't know if he felt like, I'm gonna retire and give them this $5 million, let them work the cap. I don't know, man. He really would he'd need to come out in some type of public release or something of why he retired, why he felt like it was time. Because he really just, left everybody hanging. You want to be honest.
I will say this, and I wish for once the good guy really gets saluted and really gets appreciated, because this is why I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, we looked at Tim Duncan's career, 19 years, pretty much been flawless. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to off-the-court issues, on-the-court issues, he's pretty much been a professional, of the highest order for over, for almost 2 decades. So I look at it like, he could have made his announcement, he probably known last year, when Kobe was making his tour, his last run. I mean, he could have kind of spoiled that and made his announcement then. But he let Kobe do his thing. And then he waited he allowed free agency to. I mean, he's very respectful of, everything that goes around him, whether he's in the game or whether he's ready to retire. He's always been the same way, as being genuine, being respectful, respecting the game. And I think that he should be honored for that. I really would like to see him say, even if I can't get the minutes, this will be my last year. And I would love to see somebody like Tim Duncan. If we see Kobe go on that type of tour, I would love to see Tim Duncan do it, because they would actually have an opportunity for him to go out, as a champion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely a little bit disappointed on that note.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Well, let me ask you, do you think that Tim Duncan is the best power forward in NBA in history?
Undoubtedly the greatest power forward of all time. It's not even up for debate. In my opinion, talking about a guy that affected the game both sides. I mean, showed up in big games, 5 rings, team player. He won rings as a team player and won rings as the go-to guy. And I think a lot of people sleep on that, on those type of situations. You can do both, but I don't know, man. He just constant. He just consistent throughout the years. I mean, it'd be hard pressed to say another power forward it was greater than Tim Duncan. It's just not. Nah.
I know Barkley didn't play the 4 all his career. He played the 3 and the 4. If you're going to call Barkley a power forward, I'm going with Barkley. I'm sorry. I know Tim Duncan is a champion, a 5-time champion. Everything you said was facts. But when I think of the best power forward in the NBA, I almost even want to go with Karl Malone. But I will give Tim Duncan the edge because of the chips with Karl Malone, but I won't give it to him with Barkley. It's kind of weird. I just think Barkley was just a more dominant, better player. He was ahead of his time. He was a little bit more vocal. He was a little bit more alive. I think all of that really helped him, outside of just the championships. I think now Tim Duncan, he might fade off into the sunset. He's really not a personality that you can expect to see on TV and shit like that. I think
I'm going to give you, with Barkley, my bad. I think Malone is, I never was a fan of Malone, but I think Malone was better than Barkley. It took me a while to admit that. But I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna give you a name that's interesting if you really want to think about it.
Okay.
Dirk Nowitzki is top 7 or top 6 in all-time scoring. He has a ring, and he has the MVP, Finals MVP, and he damn near beat the almighty Miami Heat, Bosh, Wade, and LeBron by himself. That's
wow.
Dirk, if you really, and he's still putting up 15 to 20, and he don't play maybe about 16, 17 years or something crazy.
Yep.
About the same years as Tim. Him and Tim came to league about the same time. But anyway, I mean, Dirk, you might. I mean, need top 5.
My only thing about Dirk and Duncan, I mean, that Dirk is a name that you cannot sneeze at, and I hate to bring the hardware into it. You know what I mean, with the championships, because Tim has 5. It's it's so hard to compare to that. But I guess the only reason why I would give Tim the edge over Dirk, not so much that they was both from the Western Conference and they played in the same time. They both from the Texas area. Even though one from Dallas, one from San Antonio, 2 real huge cities, 2 very different cities. But, and you're in the same state, if you're not that guy in the state at least, it's kind of hard for me to go or debate it. It's like, if Dirk plays somewhere else outside of Texas, I might look at it a little bit different than I am now. I'm just looking at them like, they both played in the state of Texas. And at the end of the day, when you think of top power forwards, everybody off the top think of Tim Duncan. And then you got to think of some names that, bring points. So I think your points is valid just for me by them being in the same state, playing in the same state for their career. Dirk has never really been that guy above Tim, you know what I'm saying, for a consistent amount of time. So that was my only discrepancy. But I think you made a great point. You can't sleep on Dirk Nowitzki, not at all.
But back to Barkley, though, man. I mean, I think Malone was probably he was a little more unguardable offensively, and having Stockton does help, I might add. But, man, Barkley was like putting teams on his back like LeBron type. I mean, he carried Phoenix and even Philly. I mean, I think
he was amazing
on
in Philly. People forget Philly. People forgot Philly. If people remembered Philly, then they would shut their mouth and they would show Barkley a little bit more respect, because Barkley in Philly was a smidget of LeBron James right now. He was just that dominant. I mean, he wasn't that fast.
He was dominant. I mean, like you said, dominant.
He was like a locomotive, and he could shoot the ball.
Put it like this: if he would feel like he would give LeBron some hell if they was in the series. Like,
absolutely.
I'm not saying he'll outduel LeBron, but man, like. And he was dropping dimes. Like, he give you a triple-double, too. I mean.
That's right. And he has that killer will. Man. He has that killer will. You're absolutely right. Barkley, him and LeBron, back in his prime will be a good one.
Barkley will cross you over and step back with a 3-pointer on you. Like, it was that real.
In clutch time.
In clutch.
So let me ask you, J.O., and by the way, this is the Best of 7 Sports Talk. Callers, y'all call up 347-989-8102. Press that 1 button if you want to go on live talking NBA. Tim Duncan retires. What was your best memory? What, in the 19 years is your best memory of Tim Duncan, J.O., in your opinion? What one moment stands out when it comes to Tim Duncan?
It's crazy because that's another weird thing about Duncan. You don't really have that one big standout moment in his career. Like, to me, probably the thing that really stands out to me was like his rookie year, when he just came in the league and was just beasting like that. Like, it was just something crazy. Like, yo, this is the same dude that was in college. It's something about his rookie year that was just so phenomenal to me. And I know a lot of people like to compare, like, LeBron his rookie year, Melo, such and such. But Duncan rookie year was just phenomenal. But to me, it's his rookie year. But I mean, he don't really have that one shining moment if you want to keep it real.
Right. I agree. I mean, the only thing that really stands out to me And I know this is kind of being petty, but like I said earlier in the show, it was that missing that bunny hop, in the finals against Miami. I mean, I you know,
realize
sometimes when you see things live, Jo, sometimes when you watch, it's one thing to really catch highlights, but when you actually watching a game, when you actually see history, or when you actually see a disaster, something like that, like I will never forget sitting in front of the television with Tim Duncan with that ball in his hand, and I just knew that he was going to make the layup, and it was over for the Miami Heat. And when that ball didn't go in, I was shell-shocked. I will never forget that.
I'm going to tell you what it was. You probably going to hate me for this, but it was reminiscent of Pat Ewing missing that finger roll.
Thank you. So
like,
much. And I
it was
cried.
the same exact play, almost. Like,
yep.
It was crazy, man. He was a finger roll away from being 6 rings like Jordan and being 6'6". Like, that was historic.
Yep. Unbelievable.
But on the flip side, on a little footnote, when Ray Allen made that 3-pointer, Coach Popovich took Duncan out right before that play, and Bosh just grabbed the rebound and passed it back out to Ray Allen. So you really have
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he took him out so they can. I guess they knew they was shooting the 3-pointer. He wanted all perimeter defenders, which was stupid at the time. But I mean, you really have to know the game. I remember that time to even really in history, nobody would actually know that. But that's why that's what we're here for.
Well, let me break down my Mount Rushmore to you, Jo, and you can let me know if I'm on point, if I'm being disrespectful. I mean, now I'm going to go through my 5, and you can let me know if you agree, you disagree. My point guard, Mount Rushmore, man, I'm still going with Irvin Magic Johnson. I'm still going with Showtime. I've seen a lot of dope point guards. I've just not, Showtime is just, he was just that nigga. So, I definitely got Irvin Magic Johnson still at the point. Michael Jeffrey, Ed Jordan, of course, at my 2 guard. At the small forward position, Jo, and I know the Mount Rushmore generally supposed to be 4 people. I'm just kind of naming the best person at each position in history for me. I got to go with LeBron James. I got to go with LeBron James over Larry Bird at the small forward. I think you made so many valid points. I cannot argue. I would have to put Tim Duncan at my power forward. And for the all-time best center on my Mount Rushmore, you might say I'm crazy for this one, but I have to put Shaquille O'Neal. I have to put Shaq as my all-time best center in NBA history. Your thoughts?
Well, I agree with at least 3 of those slots. And I also agree with the Shaq part.
Okay.
Yes. So I guess to start about Shaq, we just start off with the center. Yeah, Shaq, man, it would be disrespectful to my own self to see a guy that dominant with my own eyes and don't put him at my center.
Thank you.
Over and put someone I didn't grow up watching. No disrespect, Will Russell. You know the whole clique, but
Thank you.
There's no way I would be disrespecting my own basketball knowledge to see something like that in my lifetime and don't acknowledge it. So that's that's where I'm at with that. Duncan, I mean, we already mentioned how Duncan he's just too decorated, too consistent, too many rings. I mean, it is what it is. Moving on. Small forward. Now this
wait a minute. Let me take a time out, because you said that you agreed with 3 out of my 5. Now you already agreed with the center and the power forward. So
hey, we have small forward right now.
I got Magic, LeBron, and Michael left. We about to get real disrespectful, I see. Go ahead and talk your shit.
At small forward, I might add it's tight. Small forward is tight. There's only really two guys you can even like argue. But Larry Bird, man, was just that guy, man.
He was a bad boy.
I mean, you can argue that he was a better rebounder and passer than LeBron. Like, it was that Bird was just, man. I hate he got hurt. I hate he got hurt after his ninth year, maybe, but.
I would say that he was just as a great passer. I wouldn't say he was a better passer than LeBron. I would say he was just as great of a passer. Rebounder?
Yeah, I'm saying I'm saying same level. I mean, it's on par.
Okay. Rebounding, fine. Rebounding, same level. But come on, defense? No way in the world.
I mean,
we have never.
Don't do this. Don't do that.
I'm telling you. Look, man, listen. When have you ever seen Larry Bird run down 94 feet and block something from behind and pin it on a backboard? We've never seen Larry Bird do nothing like that. I wouldn't even consider Larry Bird being better than LeBron James. LeBron is ahead of both of these guys. His time and Larry Bird's time.
If I'm not mistaken, Bird had more defensive teams than LeBron. I mean, both of them, to me, okay, let's be technical. Both of them is not necessarily what you call a lockdown defender. I might say LeBron a better team defender overall. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just off the natural gifts anyways. But, I mean, Bird, people think of Bird, a lot of people think of Bird when he was older, kind of fat. Like, we talking like 1980, 81, 82, 83. Like, I'm talking about Bird, like, first came in the game. Like Bird was like, he was kind of, he was quicker than people give him credit for.
But look at the help that Larry Bird has had. And look at the help that LeBron has had. LeBron had some bad boys. LeBron had Kyrie, D-Wade.
Come on now.
But that was in the latter part of his year. We got Larry Bird pretty much playing his whole season with Kevin McHale, who's arguably been named the best power forward, Robert Parrish, Dennis Johnson, those guys, and being, the coaches and just the whole and the mystique of Boston, just the championship, I would feel like Bird had a little bit more help.
I would say for majority of his career, he probably had more consistent help. But Bird also played against better teams during that time, Eastern Conference. You talking about Jordan with the Bulls, you talking about the Pistons,
That's right.
You talking about Philly? You talking about Philly with Moses and Irvin and then a young Barkley?
New York, the Knicks, Oakley, and them.
Knicks with you got Ewing. So that's Bird having 3 rings is mainly off the competition he had to deal with. He lost 2 finals to Magic. So
right.
The beauty of it is LeBron still got about a strong 5 years maybe. So
I would say that a strong 5.
If we say I'm saying right now, I probably would hang on to Bird, but before it's all over, it probably just have to be just LeBron, unless you just bias or whatever. But all right, moving on, shooting guard. Now it's about to really get real.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Now, I watched both of them. I watched 2 of these guys play. More so than the other because of my age, whatever. Not that I'm a youngin' or whatever, but I'll go back to the Shaq statement. There's no way I can watch somebody from their career from beginning to end and see that much dominance.
Don't do it.
And don't put him at my 2 guard.
Please don't.
I'm going Kobe, Bean, Bryant at the 2 guard.
Oh, my God.
Kobe beat Bryant at the 2 guard.
Wow. Are you kidding me?
I mean, I feel like as a individual, I feel like with Jordan, see, this goes, I mean, man, we splitting hairs, but Jordan, I just think Jordan dominated his era more dominant than Kobe. But, man, Kobe carried a whole era of guys that we're going to be looking at like 20 years from now and be like, yo, damn, LeBron was in the league, Wade was in the league, Ray Allen was in the league, T-Mac, Adams in the league.
Right.
And the king was Kobe. Like,
right.
Man, Kobe was standing tall for a minute. But, I mean, I said it's splitting hairs. I mean, you want to just compare their basketball skills, defense, and whatnot, scoring. I mean, but I'm gonna have to go with Bryant. Maybe I'm slightly biased, but I gotta go with Bryant.
You have outdone yourself tonight. Let me tell you something. This guy have been rocking out with me. He did the very first sports show we did together over a year ago. This guy been on my side in each and every show. You have outdone yourself tonight with this one. I actually, and it's so funny. I'm going to tell you how funny this is, J.O., because I actually did a podcast show maybe about 6 or 8 months ago on the top 5 reasons why Kobe Bryant was better than Michael Jordan. Right before this show, I just so happened to come across that podcast, and I felt like a fool listening to myself trying to explain how Kobe Bryant was better than Michael Jordan. And here you come with this greatness. Unbelievable. Oh, man. I mean, you by far. Now, I will not hate on your point about Kobe playing in this era with LeBron and D-Wade and Melo and T-Mac and Iverson and all those guys. And he did get a little rub-in with Jordan, you know, when Jordan was, I believe, still with Chicago or you know, around the end. But, no, man, you can't. How do you think of Kobe without Jordan?
You mean like without Jordan, no Kobe? Well, what you mean?
Yeah. Basically, like that's just too. He's too much like the king, man. He's too much like him, and you know, I like Kobe. I really do like Kobe. I actually like Kobe more than LeBron. I can't think. Yeah, unbelievable.
I don't know, man. I just think Kobe's basketball excellence is just like I can't even describe it. Like, I mean, we say the same thing about Jordan.
Listen. Let me tell you something right now. 6 NBA Finals, 6 NBA MVPs. Never let a Game 7 go on his watch. Like, come on. 2 3-peats? 2 3-peats. When the last time we seen a team 3-peat?
The Lakers?
He did. yeah, the Lakers are kicking them. Like, and that was the 90s, like 2000s. Like, my man did that twice in a decade. Come on, man. That's sick.
No.
Hey, and you talk about the players. Now check this out, because when you flip it, you talk about the players that Kobe has played with. Look at the game that Jordan had to play in. It's a totally different game. The guys that he played with, they might not have been as athletic, but them guys were bangers. Them guys were goons, and that's the way the game was played. And Jordan still excelled from that. Like, you know, I don't think
Jordan. Some may say Jordan averaged 40 in his era. Some may say he may average 40 in his era with all this you can't touch guys. But man, I don't know, man. It's like Jordan. My only knock on Jordan is he didn't have no rival at the wing position. Drexler was the closest thing that gave him some comp. And even Drexler he was a notch below. or a few notches below. He just didn't have that. He didn't have that T-Mac below. He had a LeBron. He didn't have. He didn't even really have a Sprewell. Like, he just, I don't know, man. I just wish he would. I'm not saying. I mean, he would have gave all of them the business, but man, it just an error, man. I don't know, man. But he did face better. He probably faced better teams and tougher defense. So I would give him that credit.
Yeah. All right, now what you got as point guard?
Point guard, I mean.
How do you disagree with point guard at Magic? Jesus.
It's like this. Be honest with you, if you really want to be real, like, this position is probably the most undisputed position. Like, you may have somebody every once in a while, like, yo, give me Kobe over Jordan, or give me LeBron, or give me Bird, or give me Duncan, or Barkley, or Wilt, Shaq. But like Magic, it's like that's really the most unanimous slot in the starting five. I mean, it's undeniable 5 rings. His career got stopped short, or there's no telling if he would have chased the ring and got 6. Like,
right.
We don't know how that would have played out. We got to throw that in there too. I mean, that you could say Magic always played with great players. I mean, we could say that.
I feel like he makes players great. James Worthy, Michael Thompson, Cooper. He
didn't make Kareem great, but Worthy, yes, Worthy. Like, his game, like Magic game fit Worthy game to the T.